Folks, if you've ever watched the show at all, you know that we broadcast here from my hometown of Arlington, Texas. So I was born and raised in Arlington, but I'm a Fort Worth guy too, because I do live in Fort Worth. Let's just say I'm a Tarrant County guy. But I live in Fort Worth, have for a long time, and if you've been in Fort Worth any time at all, even if you've been in Arlington any time at all, you've heard of the late, great Amon G. Carter Sr. He was Fort Worth. If there was a Mount Rushmore for Fort Worth, Mr. Carter would be on it, and that pretty much closed it off. No offense to the Basses. But anyway, our next guest here in the studio is associated with a play about the life and times of Amon G. Carter, and we're so honored to have him in here with us today to tell us all about that, what went into getting it as a play, where we can see it, everything about it. So Kelvin Dilks, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us today on All In. Amon G. Carter, now your background, we were chatting off the air, now you have quite an extensive background in plays as a director, as an actor, as an educator. How did you get involved with this project?
Well, I started back in the Artisan Theater, just acting in shows in 2012. And Dave Lieber sent the script to 13 theaters in Tarrant County, hoping somebody would pick it up. And anyway, Rick Blair, the owner of the theater, called Dave one day about something else, and Dave said, "What about my play?" And Dave said, Rick said, "I don't know." And they get a stack of plays in all the time. And so Rick pulled it out, and he read it. He said, "We got to do this." He told his wife, "We got to do this." And so they thought about somebody the right age that they feel like would be good for the part, so they asked me to do it. And so I did it, and the lady I used to work with at Haltom High School, Connie Sanchez, we were co-directors at Haltom High School for a few years. She directed the play.
Okay.
So we had that working relationship.
So you had that already. So you are a Fort Worth guy. So growing up in Fort Worth, I'm guessing you were familiar with Amon G. Carter?
You know, you're familiar with Amon Carter, but he died in 55.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I was born in 63. And so you hear the name, you
see the buildings.
You see the buildings, but you have no idea his impact on Fort Worth and Tarrant County. In Plemons' book that was written, I think it was back in the 70s, he says at the time of Amon Carter's death, 50% of all jobs in Fort Worth were directly tied to Amon Carter and his impact.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, we hear all the stories as Tarrant County people and his, shall we say, relationship with the good folks in Dallas. Do those come out in the play?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There is, between me and the audience, there's a lot of interaction. We have interaction, and we hopefully have Dallas people in the audience, and we have some interactions with them,
a little
too.
pride.
When we started at the Artisan Theater, we were scheduled for 9 shows, but I'm on the school board at Burville, so I said, I can't do that Thursday night. They said, all right, we'll just do 8 shows.
Okay.
So they skipped that Thursday night. And we sold out almost immediately. So then we added shows 4 times. In fact, at the last 2 Saturdays, I did 3 shows a day and we sold out all 17 shows.
That was just starting off, and now you're in the heart of Fort Worth, Texas. Do you think this would play in Dallas? How would that be?
It would be. I think it. Well, we've been asked. There's talks right now to go to Allen now, so it's going to be interesting. But I do think this show will go out west. We're in talks with some people in Cleburne, Abilene, Lubbock.
What about Arlington?
Arlington would be great.
We know people. We know people in Arlington. We might be able to hook you up.
Yeah.
So the show itself, you're holding this book. Did this start everything?
Well, Dave wrote the play and the book almost simultaneously. Okay. But this is the companion book that goes along with the play.
Gotcha.
And it has a few more stories, and it has 100 pictures of Amon Carter and his impact and people he knew. I mean, he knew everybody.
Okay, so you've been around this industry for a long time. Can you explain to me, a guy who's never been around it, how do you go from getting from a book to a play? I mean, from script to, I mean, the process has just got to be daunting.
Well, we got the script in February, And so we started working on it. Connie and I did.
Right.
We helped Dave with some edits, some changes. He wasn't a theater person. He was a writer, an excellent writer. And we worked on it and just were able to do it.
Well, able to do it, and you're being just a little modest here. You have to have the exact right guy to do it. And the fact that they were able to find you, you agreed, and it turned out they were right. I mean, they were right. This thing's been selling out before you got to Fort Worth. The Scott Theater's got to be rocking and rolling over there, and it's just going to continue to do so. I mean, how do you find the time?
Well, luckily for me, I'm retired.
Okay.
Other than my school board activities, and I'm the president of the retired teachers group in Birdville, I have lots of free time. So
okay.
I started learning the 53 pages of script.
That was my next question.
And people ask me how I did it, and I said it's like eating a whale, one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. I love that. Yeah. How does a piranha eat a hippo?
Yeah.
One bite at a time. Kelvin Dilks is who we're talking to, and he plays Amon G. Carter Sr. Do you play him from different ages, or how does that work?
The play is very unique in that we do not play it like from the earliest time period to the end.
Okay.
We jump back and forth, and I don't want to tell everybody how we do that.
No. We're going to come see it.
Yeah.
But it's for you. I mean, do you have different voice inflections and stuff? Does your voice age as he ages throughout the deal, or?
It's like he is an omnipresence. So I have a character voice for him. It's a voice I chose. Finding recordings of Amon is very hard because he goes back so far.
Right.
But pretty much we stay with the one voice because he's the omnipresent character.
Okay. So then I've got to ask you this question, Kelvin, and I hope I don't open a can of worms here. How has this been received by the Amon G. Carter Foundation and the family and stuff?
Well, Rick saw the play right before we go into dress rehearsals. He invites the Amon Carter Foundation chairman to my first dress rehearsal.
Nice.
With lights and slides and everything. And I'm, and Mike Berry from Ross Pro's companies came, and the audience was filled with, these important people.
Right.
And here I am in dress rehearsal, and they loved it.
Oh, nice.
And so then I was concerned about how the family would react.
Okay.
And so Mark Johnson, Ruth Carter Stevenson's youngest son, chairman of TCU, he came to see it. And I was doing a reception beforehand where they asked me to be Amon Carter, and I was sticking my hand out, Amon Carter Sr. And he said, "Hi, I'm your grandson."
So he liked it immediately?
He stayed, and he saw the show. And he was the very last person to leave that night. And he said, "I'm going to bring my kids to come see this." And then Nanetta came, and George Ann, who's Amon Carter Jr.'s wife, came. And Nanetta was very, very moved by the play, emotionally moved. You could tell there were tears in her eyes. And she said she was going to bring her children back to see it,
Well,
too.
as an actor, that's got to be the biggest compliment you could get.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Because we wanted this show to be respectful of Amon Carter. And he's a character.
Oh, he's absolutely a character.
But he impacted our area so much.
Everything we have. Well, folks, another guy that's impacting the area is this guy here, Kelvin Dilks. He's been doing it a long time as an educator, but now he's retired and still working as hard as ever doing this great performance, Amon G. Carter Sr. Kelvin, thank you for being here with us on All In. I appreciate that. I promise you, I'm coming to see this thing. Thank you. Folks, thank you as well. We'll catch you next time.